Hello everyone, welcome to Salina's World. I'm Salina and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making homemade bread bowls and we're going to be making cheesy creamy potato soup to go with it. To start off with, we'll do the bread bowls, and what we'll need is 4 cups of flour, which I've already got here, and then a half a teaspoon of salt. We'll go in the flour, mix that up real good. Now we'll be making this in the bread machine. So I have my bread machine pan here. We'll need a half a cup of water, 1 cup of milk. Now both of these are warm. It should not be over 100 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. If you can stick your finger in it and it's very lukewarm, then that's just right. We'll put both of those in. In a bread machine, you have to put all the liquid in first. 2 tablespoons of butter. All that in there. And 2 1/4 teaspoons of dry active yeast. Whoops. Sorry, we don't put the yeast in yet. Ooh, almost did a boo-boo there. Okay. Do not put that yeast in first. If you were doing this in a regular mixer, yes, you'd put the yeast in. And you'll let that proof before we go any further. Right now, we're going to put the flour in. And that's 4 cups of flour. Okay, that's all in there. Now I'll make a little well in it. Just a little one. We don't want to go all the way down to the liquid. Just a little well, and I'll bring you to see that, what I did. See that little hole that I made? It does not go all the way to the liquid. Now we'll need 2 tablespoons of sugar. Put it in that well. And 2 1/4 teaspoons of the dry active yeast. And that will be it. Now we'll put this in the bread machine. I'll bring you over here to the bread machine. Lock that in and put it on the number. On my machine, it's the number 8, dough only. You don't want to put it on any of the other settings. You go to the dough setting and press start. And that will take 1 hour and 28 minutes for this to do all its process. And I'll bring you back when it's done. Okay, all, the bread is ready to shape. So what we will do now is I'll put just a little bit of flour down on my surface here. Spread that out a little bit. You don't want a lot. Just a little, and I want it on my hands. Bring it out of the bread machine and just plop it down on here. Okay. It's gonna be a little sticky, but once you work that little bit of flour that you got on down on here, it'll all come together. I'm just getting a little bit that's left in here. See, not very much left in there. Now what we'll do is just knead this just a little bit. Don't need it a lot. Look at how beautiful this dough is. Just want to get all that air out that was put in there by sitting a little bit in the bread machine. Because we're going to let this rise again for another 30 minutes. But we're going to make them into bread bowl. Okay? And I'm going to need 6 rounds, 6 balls here. So I'm going to do what I did with my pizza. I'm going to put in a thing like this. And I'm going to get my little cutter out. And try to make 6 even. Sorry there. Oh, there it is. Okay, there are 6. See if we can make these into be about the same size. Now, you can tell probably I've got 2 pans here, and I'll show you the reason why. But I'm going to do the first one here. Just kind of put this in a ball and fold it over a few times. Okay, and I'll put that on my first pan. Let's turn this over. Now, if you don't have parchment paper, spray your pan with a little bit of cookie spray. Okay? Now what I'll need to do is I'll take a little bit of saran wrap. And I will spray it. Get it open, back open here. Spray it a little bit. And lay it over the bread ball. It's got a little crease here, I've got to get it out. There we go. And we'll set that aside. I'm going to put it in the oven because we need to let this rise. Since it's only me, I'm only going to make one bread ball. So I'm going to put this in the oven and let it rise for at least 30 minutes. It needs to double in size. Now what I'm going to do with the rest of them is I'm going to freeze them for a later date. You know how you go to the store and in the freezer section they've already got the bread balls, are your loaf of bread dough already frozen, and all you have to do is bring it out, let it thaw out, and put it in your pan? Well, that's basically what we're going to do here, but with homemade. So I'm going to shape these into round bread balls, dough balls here. Keep calling it bread, but it's not bread yet until it rises and bakes. Shape it into the round. Okay, and then I'm going to put these in saran wrap. Now the first piece of saran wrap, we're going to wrap these twice each. The first piece, I will spray with a little bit of spray, and I'll put the ball in it. And we need to get this tight as can be, where there's no air in it. You don't want no air in these. And then when we'll freeze these, and when we're ready to use it, then we'll bring it out, thaw it out in the refrigerator, and then put it on one of your baking dishes and let it rise. And then you put it in a 350-degree oven, just like that. You put it at a 375-degree oven and let it cook. But I like doing this so I don't have to buy the bread at the store. I make my own. I know what's in this bread. I get this nice and tight. Now, once we put these in the freezer, they will rise a little bit in the freezer. But if you get these nice and tight, it will stop it from rising. And the reason why you spray this is when you go to take the saran wrap off, after it thaws out, it will stick to your saran wrap if you don't. So spray it a little bit before you roll it. That's nice and tight. Try to get all that air out. Okay. There we go. Now we got 5 extra bread doughs for when we want more bread balls. I'm going to get a baggie here. Excuse me. And I'm going to mark bread bowls 1, 11, 21. And now I'll put these in my freezer. And whenever I want a bread bowl, I'll just go and grab one out. Put it in my refrigerator until it's thawed out. And then put it on my cookie sheet, whatever cooking surface that I'm going to use. Make sure you try to get all the air out of this too. And just put that in your freezer. Okay? Now when the other bread bowl rises, and it's ready to bake, I'll bring you back. See you in a minute. Okay, I've preheated my oven, and right now, the next step to do with this dough ball is to get egg white. And I accidentally dropped the whole egg in, so I just need a little bit of egg white. Since I'm not doing all of 6 balls, I'm only going to need part of it. Now I need to whip this up real good. Okay. Look at this pretty dough ball that has risen. Lightly brush it. This egg white is, as I said before, is what will make the crust on your dough ball. Okay, now I will put this in a 375 degree oven and let that cook for about 20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown. In the meantime, we will start off on the potato soup, and I'll be right back while I get everything all set up I'll bring you back. Now I'm going to peel each potato, and we'll chop them into small pieces, medium to small. I always wash my potatoes before and after I peel them, because your hands always naturally have a little dirt on them, and plus whatever you've missed cleaning the potatoes off will get on your hands. Okay, now that I've peeled the potatoes, I've put about 2 cups of water, enough to cover the potatoes. And I'm going to make chicken broth because I don't have any. So I have chicken bouillon. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons in here. 2 good heaping teaspoons. Okay. And put it to the back of the stove. And turn that on to about a medium heat. And then I will put a lid on that. And I'll let this cook until the potatoes are almost done. Not all the way, but almost done. And I'll bring you back when it's that time. Okay guys, I decided I am going to put a little bit of onion and garlic in my soup. So I'm going to chop a little bit of onion up, just a small amount. And I'll chop it up real fine. And then I'm going to saute it for just a few minutes and then add it to my soup, my potatoes as they're cooking. Okay. And I add a little bit of butter to my pan. And turn that on. Get the pan hot real quick. Now you don't want to put your garlic straight away in with your onion as you're sauteing it, because you don't want to burn your garlic. Garlic will cook so much faster. I just got one small little piece of garlic. This little bit of soup is not going to take a lot. I'm just going to chop that up nice and fine. Okay. Bring you over here to the stove. Potatoes are already starting to boil, so that's good. Sounds like my oven is ready, but it looks like the bread is not quite ready yet. So I'm going to go ahead and let it rise a little bit longer. I'm going to take this onion. And just saute it in a little bit of butter real quick. on medium-high heat, on medium heat, not high, just on medium. As this starts to turn translucent, then I'll put the garlic in. Okay, it's time to put the garlic in. Just saute that just a little bit, and then we'll put this in with the potatoes. Just one of these onions to soften up just a bit. Then we'll soften up the rest of the way as the potatoes finish cooking. That smells so good. Okay. I'm going to add these to my potatoes. And stir them in. And put the lid back on the potatoes. And let them finish cooking. Yep, they're nice and soft. Got a little bite to them. I'm going to take my merger blender. And I'm just going to slightly blend a little bit of these potatoes. Not very much, because still like to have a pretty good chunk. I'm going to bring this to the front so I can reach it better. Turn it down just a little bit. I'm just going to blend just a little bit. Now you can take some of these out and put in your blender if you want to, or just do it just like this in one pot. Now you don't want to do too much of them, but this is what will thicken up your soup. See what that looks like. See, I still got pretty good chunks in there. Still got good, nice chunks. But with that, bring you over here. With me blending that up just a little bit, that thickened it up. Okay, we'll bring that back to a boil. And I'll put about a half a cup of milk. You want that white. The milk will make it a little creamy. And that looks good. I'm just going to add just a little bit more milk. I think it needs just a little bit more. It's about 3/4 cups. We'll bring this back to a boil and then we'll put our cheese in it. Right now I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in it. Not a lot of salt because the cheese has salt in it. Just salt and pepper this to taste for right now. Yeah, the cheese has salt in it and so did the chicken bouillon. Let's give that a try real quick. See if that's the way I like it. That's delicious. And it don't even have the cheese in it yet. But I am going to add a little more salt and pepper. That it did need. And when this comes back to a boil, I'll bring you right back. Okay, I've got about 1 1/4 cups of shredded cheddar cheese that I'm going to put in here. I'm going to leave just a little bit out. Just a little bit. And we're going to let this melt and turn the heat off. Just let this melt because you don't want to burn that cheese or anything. You just want it to melt. This is looking good. Okay. Our potato soup is done. I'll bring you over here. Look how delicious that looks. Cheesy potato soup. And as soon as the bread bowl is done, we will put it in the bread bowl. And I'll be right back. Okay, look at this beautiful bread bowl. We're going to let this sit for just a few minutes and let it cool off for a little bit before we cut it and fill it with the potato soup. Okay, I'm so excited. Let's get this started. It's still really warm. And cut the top off. Nice and crusty. It's just the way it should be. And we're going to cut a small hole in the middle of it so we can put our soup in it. You don't want to take all of it out. And this bread bowl is not going to hold a lot. It's just enough for me. I'm going to add the soup to it. Look at that. Add a little more cheese on top. And I'm going to add some bacon bits. As you know, everything is better with bacon. Now you can use fresh bacon that you cooked in the oven and made your own bacon bits, but this is what I have today. So this is what I'm going to be using. And if you want to put some chives on this and maybe a little bit of sour cream even. Don't that look delicious? We are going to try this now. Buy me a fork. See how delicious this is. I'm going to bring it closer so you can see it. Look how delicious that looks. Okay, let's cut into this and see. You hear that crust? And why am I getting a fork? I got soup. There we go. And save all that inner parts of the bread, and you can dip it. Oh yes, that is delicious. Mmm. Cheesy cheddar potato soup made in a homemade bread bowl. Very, very, very delicious. I gotta have one more bite. So good. Let me get my composure here. It's too good. Okay, now, if you like this video, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Press that like button and don't forget that notification bell so you can get notified when I have more videos uploaded. And don't forget to share with your friends. It would help me out a very, very lot. It'll help my channel out a lot. So please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you next time. Have a good night.